Hello, welcome back to Zero Production Value Movie Reviews. I'm Eric Hoernke, and today I'm going to be discussing the 2020 film Extraction, directed by Sam Hargrave from Netflix. So the director of this film, this is his directorial debut, and most recently he is mainly a stunt coordinator, and his most recent projects involved the last two Avengers films, and hence the Russos produced this movie. So this seems like they're trying to raise up some talent from those people in their sphere of influence and giving them basically a break. Also, this seems to be following somewhat of a John Wick sort of model, probably an easy sell, as everybody wants to copy stuff that's been successful. And the directors for John Wick came from a background of stunt coordinating and went on to make that franchise hugely popular. So I'm sure Netflix and the Russos are hoping that they can do the same thing with the main character of this film, possibly. So this is an elegant yet brutal action movie, and it plays a lot like a John Wick movie with the gunplay, but it has a heart that is very much Man of Fire, and it has a plot that resembles Man of Fire, if you remember that Denzel Washington movie. So also this seems like Netflix a little bit trying to seize on foreign dollars. If you notice who's got a lot of money in the world, China. Who also has a lot of money in the world? India. Right? Now India has its own hugely popular film production place in Bollywood, right? And China does its own films, but you'll see American films sometimes try to capitalize on this. Either they'll cast high-profile Chinese actors or Asian actors, or they will set their movie there or give it some sort of plot element that deals with that area of the world. And in this case, being almost entirely set in India and Bangladesh, which we don't really see too much in American action movies, that definitely seems like they're trying to capitalize on a huge market and possibly get some money that way. Also, I'll touch on it briefly just because I saw some commentary about this being a white savior movie, and it does, I mean, those critics can put that out there, the idea that being that, a white character will save minority characters, I guess. But I think that's more just a byproduct of the way this film is constructed, which is it's an American film. They want a bankable American lead, and using Chris Hemsworth, Thor, to do that, and then I discussed how, they're trying to capitalize on these Indian dollars, Bengali dollars, so they're using actors from that, like almost entirely from that place, which makes sense because it's almost entirely set there. So I think it just becomes more of a byproduct of the plot, not really necessarily a, I don't think that criticism is super valid in this case, but critics can level it, so I thought I would address it. As I said, this stars Chris Hemsworth, also in that Russo brothers sphere of influence, having come off of, playing Thor in all of the MCU movies. So he plays this guy, Tyler Rake, who is a black ops agent, and he's at a sort of a tipping point. He seems to be somewhat of a lost soul. He may have somewhat of a death wish. As we're going along, we learn that he lost a child a few years back to cancer, and I don't think he's ever been the same since. And now he's taking these missions with an increasingly high risk probability. I think trying to possibly get one where he won't come back from, or that's thrown out there. So there's that. So the overall premise of this movie is we get this Tyler Rake character and their agency. We really don't know what they are. They're probably like a private agency. They don't really seem government affiliated, but they get hired to basically get a kid who is the child of a very influential Indian drug lord back from a very influential Bengali drug lord, right? So these drug lords fighting, one steals the other's kid, and now we're going to go get the kid back. So getting the kid proves to be pretty much the easy part of this story. The kid's name is Ovi, but pretty much after he gets the kid, everything else goes off the rails. And the primary reason a lot of that goes off the rails is, well, it's twofold. One, the drug lord that they go to get the kid from pretty much runs Dhaka, which is the capital of Bangladesh, which is where the majority of this film is set. And he literally owns everything, from the cops to the street kids to everything. So it is extremely challenging to get in and around that city, you know, without that guy knowing about it. And secondly, the people who this part was I think a down check, because they didn't really do a good job of setting it up or making you understand. But basically what you gather is that the people who want the kid back decide, we'll let these people we hired get the kid, and then we'll just kill them and take the kid, and then we don't have to pay them. And I think it has to do with them not having the money. Like, this drug lord isn't because the drug lord whose kid was stolen is in jail, and he nominally tells his subordinate, hey, go get my kid back, do what you need. If you need to hire an army, hire an army. And I think this guy is like, we don't have the money to do that. They do it really quickly in like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, and it's gone. And then as Tyler runs into this guy, you kind of have to wonder, like, why you're trying to remember, like, why are they at odds? They both want to get the kid out of there. And then also, Ovi doesn't seem to want to go with this guy, and you're like, but he would know that guy was sent by his dad, so why wouldn't he want to? They just could have done, I think eventually you figure it out, but they could have done a better job of streamlining that part of the narrative. So they're running around, killing people left and right, very like John Wick style, the body counts mounting up. They're just like hordes of, you know, nameless, faceless, and a lot of times faceless because they're wearing like all kinds of body armor and stuff. They get one brief respite, which is a cool cameo. A former ally of Tyler Riggs, played by David Harbour, shows up. But alas, even that brief respite is not to last, as they are quickly on the run again, and eventually it becomes this very straightly told to us, hey, we need to get to this bridge. I don't know if they did a good job of explaining it was a border, but it becomes very clear, like, bad guys on this side of the bridge, good guys on that side of the bridge with a chopper waiting to extract them, and they have to fight their way through and make their way across the bridge. So, a lot of bullets, a lot of blood, a lot of guns, a lot of action. The action is pretty much non-stop, except for that brief part. Just about the only part is that David Harbour part, and that actually feels like, you know, like you just basically take a breath, and then the action gets going again. So if that's what you're looking for, this is a good non-stop action. It's bloody, violent action. I will say that. Some people might call it excessive, but I think it's pretty much right at home in a movie like this. It's exactly the kind of action and violence that you're expecting, and it delivers on that result, or on that front. Also, I think this is a beautifully shot movie in an area of the world that us as Americans don't get to see too much. And even despite the fact a lot of the shots are of like these overcrowded, polluted cities, there's still kind of this squalid, exotic beauty about the way he shot it in a lot of the scenes. So I thought that was very well done. So, good action movie. I think it rests too much on the shoulders of some stuff that has come before, like John Wick and Man of Fire. But it's, you know, good action. You don't have to think too much. And that's pretty much what you get. So, overall, a positive experience. Also, it looks like they may be trying to set this up as a franchise, so we'll see if that takes off. In any case, I am going to give Extraction a B-. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching my movie review. I enjoyed making it. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. As always, this has been a production of Zero Value.